Did they get MVP right?
Well, first off, I want to congratulate Giannis because those believe that I've been incredibly hard on him through the whole season. But unfortunately, no, they got it wrong. He was not the MVP of the NBA. I do not know how it was not James Harden. And when I think about James Harden's season, I think of first. There are a lot of firsts. The guy's numbers rivaled Kareem, Wilt, Michael Jordan. When you think about system, when you think about what he had to do on his own, yes, literally on his own, he had every single teammate darn near miss games. James Harden was the system. He wasn't a piece of the system. He didn't have the coach of the year, Coach Mike Budenholzer. He was everything. James Harden averaged 35 points, 7 assists for the entire season. If you ask any other NBA player, guys who had to play against him, a guy who predicated his game off of a step-back three-pointer, literally the hardest shot in basketball, and was effective. Max, I don't know if you know anything about this, Max, but when you shoot a three-pointer for an entire duration of an 82-game season, for any shooter, the first thing that goes is your legs. And what James Harden did this last season was literally impossible.
Listen, Harden had a great season. And every single season, it's Harden or Steph, Harden or LeBron, Harden or Giannis, till you get to the postseason, right? You know, the line from last night, Harden couldn't make it here because he doesn't show up in the postseason, right? And that's the truth. But regular season, he's the best player in basketball, James Harden, over the last 3 years if you take that whole body of work. It's always him or someone else. And the other guy keeps changing, but he stays the same. But he wasn't better than Giannis this season. Let me tell you how good Giannis is. It's hard to imagine. Ryan Hollins, imagine a guy your size, but really good at basketball. Like, think about that for a second.
Coming from the guy who can't play basketball.
Your size is really good at basketball. Think about what Giannis did this year. Offensively, his PER. So we can talk about points, assists, rebounds, assist to turnover ratio, effective field goal percentage, free throw percentage, three-point percentage, mid-range. But PER takes all of that into account. And it has a number at the end. And the number, the PER number, we're talking about just offense, Giannis 30.9, Harden 30.6. But you know what, Ryan? I'm with you on this. Harden's offense, because he can get his own shot, because he can set up teammates if he so chooses, et cetera, because of his higher usage rate, because he missed fewer games, Harden is the better offensive player than Giannis, but it's marginal. It's like very, very close.
Mm-hmm. How's that? How does that
it close
he
on
averaged
defense?
6 to 7 points more.
Is it?
How's that marginal?
I'm just telling you, the PER favors Giannis.
That
I'm
is
giving you Harden.
He is the offense. Everything initiates with James Harden. The one thing about Giannis in the fast break, he is a freight train. We've seen nothing like it. He's even more dynamic than LeBron James has ever been. But in the half court, everything, literally, when I say everything goes through James Harden.
Okay.
And keep in mind, I don't want to say he didn't have Chris Paul, but he ain't have Chris Paul. He didn't have Eric Gordon for a couple games. And he even missed his doggone defense, Clint Capella. And when Clint Capella went down, we expected everything to come shattering down. And the reality, Max, is it didn't. So we're talking about the MVP award. We're talking about the most valuable player. Not to mention, he played in the Western Conference. The West, dog, not the East, where you get handed games. James Harden put on his value. My goodness, Max.
I'll give you Harden on offense, I just said. But even though the offensive numbers that shows you per possession who's better say Giannis, I'll give you Harden. But it's marginal. Is it marginal on defense for Giannis over Harden?
It's not marginal. I don't agree to marginal.
Would you compare? Oh, by the way, I don't even have to give you that because the numbers say Giannis is better on offense. But is it marginal, your eyeball test, defense, Harden or Giannis?
No, Giannis could have been the defensive player of the year.
Could be. He's 7 feet tall, can defend all 5 positions, brother. And here's the other thing about Giannis, and this is the real claim you're making, whether you realize it or not. You're saying a center can't be the MVP. Really, what you're holding against Giannis is the fact that he's a center who can also handle, guard the wing, and do all those things. But because, in fact, he's a big, you won't give it to him. Because he can't get his own shot like a point guard, you won't give it to him.
If I'm going to think about an MVP, I'm thinking about value. I'm not thinking about Chris Middleton taking over the games at the end. I'm not thinking about Bledsoe. I'm not just talking about physical dominance. I'm talking about complete dominance and value and need. And yes, he brings you all the little things. He blocks shots. He gets steals. He rebounds. He gets dirty. He does all the little things. But if I take Giannis off that team, it's still a decent team. It's a solid team. He needs teammates. When I look at James Harden, you replace Melo, you replace Chris Paul, you replace Eric Gordon. You can interchange every single piece off that team, and James Harden is still getting busy.
Actually,
okay?
Let's take your example. In fact, Budenholzer, I agree, Coach of the Year, the whole thing. Mike D'Antoni's done a fantastic job with the Rockets. Mike D'Antoni won 65 games
Mr. No
with
Controversy?
the Rockets.
Mr. No Controversy
Mike
did an excellent job.
D'Antoni's a guy who made Jeremy Lin look like an MVP, who got Steve Nash a couple of MVPs. If you play Mike D'Antoni, if he develops a system for you and you do what he wants you to do, let's not forget there was controversy when he made Harden the point guard.
Hold on, what's Mike D'Antoni's system?
Ryan.
What's Mike D'Antoni's system? He didn't need that was on paper, bro. He's always been the point guard. That was a paper move.
No. He handles the ball more under D'Antoni than he did before. His usage rate went through the roof. To Harden's credit, he
what was Chris Paul then?
He sustained an excellent efficiency.
What was Chris Paul then? What was Chris Paul when he was on the floor?
Chris Paul played off ball a lot, in fact.
Chris Paul.
But let's take Harden. Ryan, let's take Harden off the Rockets and take Antetokounmpo off the Bucks because people seem to want to do that. You did it. Stephen A. did it the other day. In fact,
Milwaukee
the Rockets without James Harden are like a 500-ish team. You tell me Chris Paul, Eric Gordon, Clint Capella, P.J. Tucker. Yeah, that's like a 500-ish team, in fact.
Hey, buddy. You know where they were when James Harden was hurt? You know where they were? 12th place in the Western Conference. That's where they go. 12th place.
Sure, because the system was built for James Harden. And you guys had, and they had
shouldn't
some
you be able to just plug Chris Paul right in?
Take Antetokounmpo off the Bucks. Take Antetokounmpo off the Bucks.
They make the playoffs.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.